Okay, that's odd. All right. So I got the camera and everything all set up to go live, and then I was a little early, so I had to run to the kitchen for something. Come back, and I already see I have comments. So, but I hadn't actually started being live yet, had I? So let's just see. We get Keith here. He says Hooper tried his hand at ski jumping today, and now he will be on ABC Sports as the agony of defeat. Ah, yes, that poor guy felt so bad for him. For years, he became the mark of, and he's probably an amazing skier before that. Lance is high thrash, Keith is high Lance, and I nudged you out just a bit. I've never been first on any of these before. Oh, and Lance says it's okay. And then Keith goes on to say, just doing the happy dance here in the living room, waving my hands over my head, yelling, woo ha. But I will sit down and be calm now. Justin says two streams back to back tonight. Yeah, Lynn's put it out. I guess Dave's going on literally not immediately after me. Literally, not figuratively, immediately after me. So I'm probably gonna wrap up a little bit earlier tonight. Also, I have a wicked early day tomorrow. So I actually probably will not be attending Dave's stream tonight. Please pass on my hello to Dave and everyone in the chat. Oh, by the way, before I got here, was it just showing an empty chair, or was it just a comment section, no me, or what was actually the content before I got here? Let's see. Tug is here. Hello. Sheldon says, Keithy first, huh? Present. Watch Means here says, hello, everyone. Love the series of marriage and dad jokes, by the way. Excellent. Oh, and Tug, by the way, I loved It Came from an East to Thee, by the way. And yes, I am so ashamed. I don't know how I got that actor confused with Clint Eastwood. Oh, John is here from John P. Adventures. He says, Thrash. Hey, John P. Adventures, how are you doing? I love your. He puts out these great little adventure posts. Basically, he lives in this beautiful part of Portugal. And what he does is he just goes out his door every now and then and just goes on these little adventures, either on a bike or on foot. And he just goes around and finds all this cool stuff literally just around his house. It's so cool. Let's see what else we got going on here. A lot of people saying hello to one another. Gary Carpenters, he says, greetings, groovy guys and gals, and to you, T. That's me. Lynn says he's buffering a little. Oh, here we go again. Keith says, type faster, he'll catch up. Music, movies, and more with Brian is here. He says, hey there, Thresh. Brian, it is so nice to have you. I love the birthday videos you do and the rest in peace videos. He's big onto celebrities, their births, even heavenly births, and their passing. Love what you're putting out. Thank you. Shannon says, oh, a lot of hellos to a lot of peoples here in the chat. Zuplix is here. He says, hey, Sean. Oh, John says, I'm good, brother. Excellent. Brian says, hope you're having a good weekend. I hope you're having a good weekend as well. And John says, all very close woods. Yeah, there's a nice wooded area right next to where he lives, which is perfect for such adventures. Oh, big hug back to you, John. Thank you so much. Tug says, Thrash and Lance, I'm planning a stream next Sunday on alien invasion movies. You are both always invited. Well, I don't know much about alien invasion movies, but I'll try to cobble some together. Lynn says, I woke up with a numb right hand. You probably slept on it. And Tug says, Lance, my wife gets that a lot. She does neck stretches at night, and that seems to help. Ooh, good to know. Good to know. Oh, Gary, a banjo sandwich is here. Says hi from the UK, listening to some NFL and you. Banjo sandwich, it is so awesome to see you, by the way. Folks, if you haven't discovered Banjo Sandwich, please check it out. Liverpool? Somewhere he's based somewhere in England. I want to say Liverpool, but he puts out these cool little fun human interest videos. They're so much fun. You got to check him out. I'm going to misquote your catchphrase. He's the best kept secret in the UK. Banjo Sandwich, so great to have you here. Thank you so much. John says, I'm recovering runny nose, already miss the trails. That's what you sounded like you were getting sick. That last video you were doing. I hope you feel better. Justin says, Thrash, did you ever notice the first couple seasons of Dallas had a theme sing that mimics the disco era? It changed shortly after in seasons 3 and 4. I kind of came in late to Dallas, so I must confess that I never noticed that. I'm afraid, but I'll take your word for it. A lot of oh, Gary says Liverpool, yes, brother. Good. I thought it was Liverpool. I don't know how I could get that wrong. I mean, after all, it's you and the Fab Four. And I'll just see what's going on here. Dominic D's here. He says, hello, Bob. Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone. Keith, he says, hello. All I've read, all the comments, hello, back. I'm going to skim down as so many people are saying hello to each other, which is wonderful but superfluous. You don't need me to do that. The entertainment headquarters is here and says, hello, Thresh. Entertainment headquarters, so wonderful to have you here with us tonight. Nothing at all really planned. In fact, I was saying I'm probably going to wrap up a little early, not crazy early, a little bit, but Dave Sundstrom is going on immediately after me. And so basically, I'm telling everyone from here, like I have to tell you, go to Dave Sundstrom after we wrap up here. Sadly, I won't be able to make it. I have to get up wicked early tomorrow morning. But everyone, please tell Dave I said hello, and we'll be there in spirit. Oh, Doug says he's catching up. Yes, he is. What is the old joke from They're Coming to Take Me Away? Hey, buddy. Hey, yes, officer. Are you ahead? No, but I'm catching up. Let's just see what else we got going on here. I am caught up. Come on, you people. Falling asleep at the Switch. Oh, and speaking of falling asleep at the Switch, we got 15 bros in house and only 6 likes. We can do better than that, my fellows. And I mean that literally. None of the ladies have showed up yet. So hello in advance to Cindy D, Miss M, Tracy Roth Myers, Lisa Fields, Music Girl 67, Miss Mandy, anybody I'm forgetting, Caroline Monroe, I always get your last name wrong, Karen Lee Maloney, we'll go with Maloney. And to all the guys who haven't been here as late either, Baked Bean, House of Alex, you guys all know who you are. We miss you all. Just see. Oh, by the way, Mike Silva. Hopefully you can make it. There won't be any buffering. Only 257. David. And let's just see. I'm skimming down here. Justin says must be a lot of food prep going on early. Perhaps. Gary says to Lance, what did you do to your arm? I bet he slept on it. Lynn says a little numb still, but will take time. Zuper. Entertainment says, have you watched any new films? I have not. I am so ashamed of myself. I never get to the theaters anymore. It's a whole thing. It started out with COVID. Never get to the theaters. I haven't even seen Godzilla -1, and I'm very ashamed of myself. But hopefully we'll get into the theaters very soon. A couple friends want to go to -1 with me. Oh, someone said hi to is Retro Nerd Girl here? Oh, and Sarah? Oh, there's my flock. My flock's everywhere. Says hi, Pawns. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Podblast is here. The Nostalgic Podblast says hello, everyone. Hi to you as well. And hey, to me specifically, Podblast. So good to see you here. Oh, by the way, both Podblast and Sarah, you have that Twilight Zone podcast on Tuesday, right? I promise I'll try to make it. I promise. I don't have much going on this Tuesday, so I'll try to get there. Tug says, okay, now I'm buffering. We'll have a little buffer, and that might take care of it. Keithy says 8 likes. We can do better than that. What he said. Pablo says went to Atlanta Comic Convention today and purchased nice comic books. That is so cool. I haven't bought any comics in years. Of course, I buy old ones anyway. Headquarters says I went to see the Beekeeper review on my channel. You will love Godzilla -1. The Beekeeper. That sounded interesting. That sounded, and I will love -1. I will have to check it out. Thanks, headquarters. Oh, Keithy says no buffering here. Oh, and Sarah says yes to pawns. Thank you. Um, remember, guys, check out on Sarah's channel. She and the Nostalgia Pod Blast have a seminar on the Twilight Zone Tuesday. I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to join in. I'm sure whatever episodes you talk about will be my favorites. Love the Twilight Zone. Gary Carpenter says Pod Blast next month in Concord, North Carolina. There's a horror convention in town. I know, Gary. I am so disappointed I can't make it. Oh, and by the way, I guess you're not going to be square. Let's just see. Pod Blast says yes, sir. Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern. Excellent. Tug says I'll try to catch that. It's no secret I love the Twilight Zone. I know, I know. I just saw your the last ones you did. Which I'm trying to remember. I always get them out of order. But I remember I had something cute to say about it. All I can think of right now is your It Came From Beneath the Sea. That one was great. Pablo says, cool, thanks. The Unapologetic Geek, your Twilight Zone reviews are good. They certainly are. Please check them out. Headquarters says, I am looking forward to seeing Godzilla and King in Kong in March. Kaiju cinema has really come back in a big way. It has, hasn't it? It hasn't. Speaking of which, as you probably know, I'm a nostalgia buff. You know what the last movie I saw in the theaters was? A local cinema here was showing King Ghidorah on the big screen. I finally get to see King Ghidorah on the big screen. It was awesome. Oh, Mr. Wilkinson, Christopher Wilkinson is here. He's saying hello to everyone. Justin says one of my favorite T-Zone episodes is Night Call. Super creepy, but has a great lesson at the end. Bill Mumy and the telephone, right? I always thought that one was sad. And let's just see. Pablo says, "Oh yeah, we read that one." Tug says, "I'm surprised by how good Monarch is. I'm a fan." Ah, here it is. Pablo says, "It's nice to see Japanese anime Monsterama have a comeback and be entertaining. Definitely, definitely." And entertainment headquarters says, here is the UK. Oh, here in the UK, I had the pleasure of seeing Godzilla 1954 on the big screen. I have never seen Godzilla on the big screen. Now, here's one. Was it the American version, Godzilla King of the Monsters, or was it the original Gojira in its original Japanese? Either way, I'm jealous, but if it's the original Japanese, I'd be jealouser. And Justin says Night Call has an old lady who gets a call. From her window. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Wait. That's not the one I'm thinking with Bill Mumy who talks to his grandmother on the toy phone. Is that the one with Robert Redford? Uh, Again, they blend together. I'm afraid. Doug says how many episodes with Bill Mumy in? LOL. Let's not go down that road again. Oh, come on. That was fun when we were trying to figure out how many episodes everyone had been in. It's my understanding. What did we decide on? Three? In Praise of Pip, It's a Good Life, and the one with Grandma on the telephone. Um, but yes, that was fun. Lynn says, I watched Destroy All Monsters the other day. Cheesy, but fun. Definitely so. Dominic D saying hello to Tug. Emily Miller's here. Says hi, y'all. Good to see you, Emily. It's always great to have you with us. Pablo says saw Godzilla 1954 black and white in Japanese at the Plaza Movie Theater in 2021 here in Atlanta. Green with envy. My Flug says, "Okay, Pons, you're on my TV. LOL." Oh, thank you. And Tug points out Emily's arrived. Gary Cameron says to Lance happens to be my favorite movie. It's one of mine too. I really like that one. And headquarters says the Japanese original with subtitles. Oh, I am greener with envy. And Dominic D says, I like Destroy All Monsters 2. Haven't seen it in years, though. It's a good one. Emily Miller says, and before you ask, I already hit that like button. Thumbs up. Excellent. You are my hero. And Pablo says, not a dry eye in the house. Definitely not. Oh, and my flock has been dropping links. Thank you. I was gonna say, Danny, when damn you, damn you all the hell. No, I'm sorry. When Danny gets here, I usually ask him to drop these links. But Sarah, if you wouldn't mind, please drop links on the comment section for your channel and the others to which we have mentioned, if you would be so inclined. Gary Cameron says, now if I can find Godzilla versus Gigan in English, that's a good one, but I think I've only seen it in English. Entertainment says Pluto also has a number of Gamera films. Also, most of those are in public domain here. I have a bunch of them on DVD. That's another thing, by the way. What Dave said before about hanging onto your physical media, hang on to your physical media, people, for two very, very, very important reasons. These streaming services may promise to hang on to these and always make them available for you, but they could fib and not make these films available for you. Plus, they may edit them for whatever nefarious reasons they have. Hang on to physical media. We might need it someday. And then end the lesson. Teb is here. He says, hello, Thrash. Hello to you, Mr. Terrell Eugene Bellinger. Emily says, Chance, if you want, give me a belated present. I'll take that Bewitched comic. And Sarah says, yes, she will. Thank you very much, Sarah. You're awesome. And Justin says, 100 yards over the rim was an interesting concept as well. With Cliff Robertson, I love that one. You know, supposedly that's actually based on a paranormal event. There's a story of in like the 1940s or whatever, a group of people dressed up like prospectors showed up to this like truck stop and bought all kinds of supplies, and people thought they were just from some type of western film shoot in the desert. But here's the weird part: when they went to pay, they paid in gold coins and then just left. And the truck stop owner just took the coins because they're gold. Why not? And here's the truth. Long story short, one of them took a postcard or bought a postcard of an automobile because they kept acting like every time a car would come in, they're like, "Ooh, check out this horseless carriage!" Ooh, one of them bought a postcard of a automobile. Supposedly, they were a group of settlers that were lost in the desert, went through wormhole, time loop, whatever you call it, showed up in the 20th century, got the supplies, went back. One of them later went on to become a U.S. senator. And he actually had the postcard. It was his prized possession. His grandfather from the 1800s had given him this postcard of a car. And I'm not expecting any of you to believe this, but it was a story as I heard it. And that was the origin story for 100 yards over the rim. Headquarters says, Thrash, I know you enjoy 50s sci fi. Did you know they are doing a modern remake of them? I did not. I did not. That is awesome sauce. I will watch it and enjoy it thoroughly. Pablo says Tubi is streaming. Tubi streaming is so good. There's a lot of good streaming services out there. Just hang on to the physical media. Oh, and he goes on to say, physical media junkie here. Yes, just do yourself a favor. Hang on to that as well. Oh, Mr. Wilkinson says happy belated birthday to Emily. Yes, happy birthday to you. Wajamin is thanking Sarah for dropping the link. Headquarters says, I bought the Gamera Blu-ray sets and the Godzilla set with the Showa era films. I have no Blu-rays. All mine are either DVD or are you sitting down, don't laugh, videotape. But I still watch them and enjoy them. Dominic D says, I have Rodan on DVD. I'll be hanging on to it. Please do. Tug says physical media forever from the cold dead hands and all that. Definitely, definitely. I'm a little bit behind, but I think I can catch up. Um, let's just see here. Oh, Tracy showed up. That's part of the reason why. Uh, oh, I thought I was actually closer. I guess I'm not. Wowzers. Okay, let's see. Let me know the way. Yes, there we go. Just I was dropping into the link. Happy birthday, belated birthday from Lance to Emily. Public says just saw your remark, Emily, after Thrash read it about the comic book. Haha. Gary Cameron says headquarters do not a remake of them. They shouldn't do that. I don't know. It could be good if they do it in the spirit. Um, let's just see. I'm gonna skim down. A lot of people saying hello to one another. Oh, an album. Tracy says, "Hey, hey, Tracy, so great to see you. Hey, any word back from the job interview?" And Tug says we're getting ahead of him at last. And Sean says to Emily, "I think I offered you early birthday wishes, but he comes the belated wishes too. Hey, happy birthday, Emily." And Tracy says hello to all. And Lynn says Tracy sat was yesterday. Yes, it was. And Tug says with all these snow days, I no longer know what day of the week it is. Trust me, I more than understand. Oh, and Emily's saying thank you for the birthday wishes. And Justin says nothing. He jumped off the page. And he says physical media is good to have, but when a decent DVD player costs $500, when mine breaks, I'm going to be mad. You can actually get them used really cheap in thrift stores and whatnot. Thank you, Sarah, for dropping the link. Uh, oh, Terrell says save physical media. Yes, definitely, definitely. And headquarters says, "I wish they would do a remake, either of a film or a new television series of Land of the Giants. I have fond memories of watching it with my grandfather. I loved that show, Land of the Giants. It, I think it only lasted like 2 seasons, but I thought it was great." And Irwin Allen had some great stuff back then. Ken says, "I am 5 years older than you, Emily." Oh, Mandy's here too. Mandy, hi, Mandy. How you doing? So glad you could make it tonight. Welcome to the party. Keith says, to his falling behind a bit, but if it's Sunday night, it's thrash time, not hammer time. Thrash time. Thank you. And Tug says, speaking of them, what's your favorite 50s giant creature? Well, mine has to be Godzilla. Has to be. Or do you mean like the actual specifically enlarged animal, not a mutated um quasi animal like Godzilla? Probably the giant tarantula. The giant tarantula for me, the Earth versus the spider or tarantula was great. And let's just see here. I'm catching up valiantly. Oh, hang on. Oh, and Lynn's also wants to know if you got the job. Tracy and Tracy says, I hope this upcoming week I feel like an expectant father. LOL. And headquarters says, I think depending on how it is done and how much the filmmakers have done their research, some remakes are good. I love Peter Jackson's remake of King Kong. Yeah, you have to have love for the source material. You have to. Otherwise, you get things like Land of the Lost and I Am Legend. But if they have a love for the source material, it could be good. Brian says, it's good to see you thrash. I'm heading off. Have a great night. Brian, thank you for joining us. Again, if we haven't Sarah, could you do a link for Brian Music, Movies, and More? Really appreciate it. And we'll see you too, Brian. Have a good night. And Luna says, Lance, you're catching up. Tug says, good luck to Tracy. I will cross my fingers and toes for you. And Pablo says, hope I don't get sick. Lots of folks here sneezing all over the comic books at the convention today. Ooh, I'm so sorry. And Mindy says, hello, awesome Thrash. Oh, Mandy, no, you're awesome. And Justin says, what's the James Garner Western where he dies, then his twin brother takes over? He dies and his twin brother takes over? I am not familiar. And I jumped again, but here, let's see. Owen Pablo says Land of the Giants was actually produced over the course of 3 seasons. Really, 13 episodes were filmed in 67 and 68 this season before it premiered. Oh, that's a great fun fact. Garrett Carpenter says, Lance, you've been way behind for years. Oh, and Lance says, call it don'tcatchacold.com. Oh, and Tracy saying, thank you. And Emily says, Lance, technically, if I die before you. And Minnie says, why do all the men love Godzilla? Because he's a dinosaur that breathes fire. He's the coolest thing ever. And Brian says, hey there, my flock. And Tug says, I was thinking of enlarged real animal. Otherwise, Godzilla would be the best answer. Okay, so enlarged real animal, it would have to be the big tarantula. Pick one, Earth versus Spider or tarantula. And Pablo says, which of the Land of the Giants TV theme by John Williams do you prefer? There was more than one theme? It's been so many years I don't recall. Pick one. Oh, and Brian saying, have a great night. Mindy says, men must destroy like Godzilla. There's a certain amount of truth to that. Love setting things on fire, too. Banjo Sandwiches, Shogun in February. I know, and I am over the moon. I've decided though, I have to hurry up. I have to dig out my box set of the original 1981 series with don't tell me, with Richard Chamberlain as Blackthorn. I've decided I have to see the original again before I see the remake. And I haven't seen the other show. I saw it like a couple years ago, but I have to see it again. And Headquarters says also another great modern remake with a twist. The recent Planet of the Apes trilogy. Looking forward to beginning of the next trilogy with the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'll buy that. And Tug says me too, and my flock is giving us more links. Thank you. Emily says I prefer dragons over dinosaurs. Technically, Godzilla is a dragon. And Mandy says I'm laughing about Godzilla men. As well, you should. As well, you should. Of course, I liked it when I was a little kid. Miss Mama Thrash will attest to that. I was obsessed since I was 4. And uh, Banjo Sandwich. I've got to get Banjo Sandwich to roll off the tongue. Banjo Sandwich says hi to my flock. Yes, my flock, do us a favor. Please give Banjo Sandwich a link for his video as well. Thank you very, very, very much. And Tug says there's a giant spider in The Incredible Shrinking Man as well. Well, technically, it is normal size. Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it the same tarantula, or more importantly, there was a very famous tarantula wrangler in Hollywood at the time who I guess his gimmick was he said he had a trained tarantula. He actually used different ones, but they were the same species of tarantula. But I believe it was all 3 films used the same tarantula wrangler. Tarantula wrangler. Can you mention that's a profession? Oh, and Lisa Fields. Hello, Lisa Fields says hi. Emily and Lance, and hello to you too. Mandy says, Thrash, what is the freshest food in your area right now? The freshest food in my area right now would probably be lobster. And Tim says, "Do you remember the Young Riders of the Western drama that aired on ABC for 3 seasons towards the end of the 80s through the early 90s? Nobody talks about it these days, despite having a good cast. I remember the movie The Long Riders, but I don't remember the TV show. Apologies." Mandy says, "Suresh, you guys have seafood. We have quite possibly the best seafood in the country. The irony being is I don't like seafood. I'm one of the few Cape Codders who doesn't like seafood. When I have family and friends come from off Cape, which is what Cape Codders call the rest of the country, everything on that side of the canal, I go to a seafood restaurant and I'll order off the Lubbers menu. They always call it something cute like the Lubbers menu, Land Lubbers, and where you can get like a steak or a Black Angus burger or that type of thing. Don't like seafood, ironically. And ooh, somebody just jumped off the page. Pablo says, watch the unaired extended version of Land of the Giants pilot, directed by Irwin Allen. Me TV airs it. More scenes, better characterization. Ooh, I will. I will watch that thing. Thank you, my flock, for the link. Lynn says Mandy Godzilla is awesome. He certainly is. Gary Kevin says Tarantula. Headquarters says Shogun remake is one of the most look forward to shows in 2024. I believe it. I believe it. It looks absolutely amazing. And Tim says, I'm still waiting for the trivia based on the early days of Fox Network. Teb, I am wicked sorry. Oh my God, I completely forgot. I completely forgot. I will have that for you next week. I'm sorry. Tonight's is on celebrities we've lost and appearances that they have made, but I promise next week, early Fox, I promise you. And WD says, "Yeah, I remember Teb. I only saw a few episodes." And Justin says, "I think Thrash doesn't care for it. I'm not sure which, but whatever it is, I'm sure I have a soft spot in my heart somewhere for it." And oh, and my phone says, "I did Ponce, LOL." Thank you, Sarah. I'm sorry. I lost track of what you had and had not dropped links for. Tug says it is the same tarantula. Well, one of them. Yeah, like I say, I heard somewhere actually he had like a tarantula ranch. Tarantula. See what I did there? Tarantula. But he would say it was the same one because having one trained tarantula is way cooler than saying I brought the one that was most likely to do what I wanted it to do. Although that's kind of cool too. Although I could never hold a tarantula. And headquarters says I also loved as a kid the time tunnel. The time tunnel was good too. Although it was odd that no matter wherever they went, they all spoke English. And Pablo says, but there is no John Williams music in the Land of the Giants. Unaired pilot out. Alexander Courage and Recycle Lost in Space. John Williams music is used. John Williams scored the aired pilot. Ah, so you got me there. And just Justin says, Teb, Fox had a great lineup in those early days. They certainly did. Thank you for the link, Flock. And Mandy says, okay, possibly I feel that way about King Kong, but without the nerd. I'll buy that. And Sean says, hey, buddy, to Lisa Fields. And I think I just jumped again, but I'll try to catch up. Number one dude is here. Number one dude, good to see you, lad. And I'm just gonna race through these because again I'm behind and it's getting towards the time when we need to do the trivia. So I'm just gonna kind of. I left off with something said by. Here it is. Christopher says, "Did you see Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner, Bob?" I did. I did. And I saw it with my uncles when I was a kid. I actually loved it. Um, what's his, Woody Schroed's in it in the beginning, at least. Woody Schroed's amazing in it. Uh, Mandy says, "Beautiful thrash." We got mullet. And I'm gonna skim down really quick. Emily says, out of context, but my wife is watching something, and all I'm gonna say is Jason Momoa. My wife has a crush on Jason Momoa. And God bless his last thing about Land of the Giants. I own a mint color film print of the aired pilot. First episode, the unaired cut was in the 2007 DVD set. Emily says, I'm sorry. Tracy says, I like crab better than lobster. Neither of them are kosher there, Bubba. And my flex says, I love Beat a lot. And Terrell says, you mean the Young Guns movie Thresh? Oh, no, the Young Riders. No, I mean the Lone Riders. The Lone Riders is the story of the Cole Younger gang. That's what I meant. Thank you. And but I have not seen the TV series you were talking about. Sorry. And Lisa Fields says, "What are we talking about tonight?" So far, we spent most of the night talking about remakes, specifically Godzilla, Shogun, the possible remake of them, and other remakes in modern times of vintage cinema. And tonight's trivia, which I'll be getting to in just a few minutes, is going to be of lesser known works of celebrities we've lost recently. And headquarters says from a place called Newcastle. I know Newcastle. Newcastle in England. We are known for our fresh fish and chips and our brown ale. I've had Newcastle brown ale. It is excellent. Sean says, no seafood thrash. I was sold on shrimp from a really early age, and we are spoiled on the East Coast. West Coasts eat tasteless Gulf prawn. Well, here today, prawn tomorrow. Or should I say herring today, prawn tomorrow? Well, whichever is funny, you guys work it out. And Tug says, my wife has an iodine allergy, so we never eat seafood. I'm not the biggest seafood lover or anything, but as a Florida boy, I do miss it, especially shrimp. I love shrimp. An iodine allergy. Really? That's interesting. I hadn't heard of that. And Emily says, that's my wife's favorite beer. Well, she's been coming up a lot as of tonight, actually. Tell Mrs. M we said hello. Brogu says hi, everyone. Brogu, so glad you could make it just in time for the trivia. I'll be starting it in just a couple of minuets. Pablo says, redhead Dina Lund had the best scream in Land of the Giants in the first episode. More of a shriek. A lot of people saying hi to Brogu. Brogu. Gary Campbell says, Thrasher, I'm not a seafood person, and I'm a Pisces, but I love chicken. I love chicken in all its forms, even eggs. See what I did there? Mother and child reunion. My flex says, Pawns, no worries. Teamwork is the best. What's gonna work? Teamwork. What's gonna work? Teamwork. I'm sorry. Mindy says, anyone other than me in South? Yes, Sarah's from the South. Emily's from the South. Danny's not here, but he's from the South. Tracy lives in the South, although she's from Chicago originally, but she now lives in Florida. And well, that's some for you. Oh, and Pablas is from Georgia. And Zuplex is from Puerto Rico. That's South. I'm from the South too. I'm from Southern New England, which is really, really, really cold right now. Like so cold, it's not cool. Oh, Jessica Lang, beautiful. Yes, couldn't agree more. And he spells it here says, Mandy, that King Kong came out in 1976. Yes, the remake of which you're talking about. Number one dude says the Wonder Pets, and it's number one dude for the win. Doug says, Mandy, that would be me. I was born and raised in Orlando. I lived in Missouri now, though. And Emily says, by the way, don't get too impressed. The word actually came up on my keyboard dictionary. And Pablo says, message retracted. And a message retracted to you as well. Lynn says, she sure is, Mandy. And my flux says, I'm in Southern California. LOL. I am so sorry. That's the South part. I knew you were from the South, but I'm Southern. sorry. Hence the time difference between you and I. I'm sorry. And Pablo says the giant scientist in the Land of the Giants episode number one, 1968, looks like George Lucas circa 77. He does. He does, doesn't he? And Brogan says, I'm from the South. There you go. We got Brogu too. And headquarters says, am I the only one from England here? Tonight you are. We have a couple dudes from England who do join us. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Banjo Sandwich is from Liverpool. But we have a couple of like long termers who weren't here tonight. House of Alex is from London, and I believe Baked Bean is as well. But yeah, tonight Banjo Sandwich is also from the UK. And Sluice Fields. I'm from South Carolina, but from New York originally. That counts. Emily Moses, Sarah, do you need a roommate? Tug says, good memory, Bob. I would fail a test on my everybody's hometown. Well, I got a couple of them wrong. It's entertainment says it's currently 1 a.m. here. I must commend you for your dedication in showing up. Thank you. And Lynn says, Tug, I hope we are done with the Arctic freeze for a while. It's still cold here. It's in the teens last time I checked. And Gary Carter says, Lisa, where are you located in South Carolina? And what you mean says, I'm from Indiana here, LOL. What you mean? I know I've asked you this before, but I forget. Are you anywhere near South Bend? Only part of Indiana I visited was South Bend. And Evan Lewis is born and raised and still living in South Carolina. Hickory, South Carolina? I believe you said it's Hickory. And Pablo says, what the movie introduced Jessica Lange? What movie introduced Jessica Lange? I think I know, right? The answer for tonight would be King Kong, but I think she did something before King Kong. The one that really put her on the map was Tootsie. That she was great in King Kong, but I thought she did something before King Kong. I'm going to say King Kong because Pablo said Tootsie. No, it's almost like you knew what I was going to say before I said it. And I'm going to skip down. Is it not King Kong, Mrs. Thresh? You are constantly seeing things in Fargo and other films I never see. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you. I don't want to toot my own horn, but Mandy, since you brought it up, yes, I've been doing retrospects on Fargo, the TV series, and what I do, I watch them and then I watch the episode again, so that I try to get as much insight as possible. And I don't know if any of you guys have been watching Fargo, but I'm very proud of my retrospect on season 5, and I'm contemplating. I haven't decided yet, but I'm contemplating doing past seasons if you guys would be interested. And Mandy, thank you for your input. Shannon says, fiancés, and fiancés to you too as well. Let's just see. I lost track again, but I don't care because I don't care, and because I don't want to miss anyone else's thoughts in the chat. My Flux says Emily Katz, of course, but I have birds. Is that okay? LOL. Gary Gunner says T. I'm born and raised here in North Carolina. Oh, no, anywhere near Raleigh? I have family in Raleigh. My father, and my brother, and their families, and my sister lives on the coast in Wilmington, and I'm sure we'll go over that again. By the way, Lisa's from Spartansburg. Form is content is here. Says hi, Thrash and chat. Form is content. So glad you could be here. We're just about to start the chat as soon as I catch up yet again. And Pablo says yes, it is King Kong. Guessed 2 movies, including the correct answer. Well, I guessed it. I just wasn't very confident in my guess, but a lot of people other than me guessed it as well. I could have sworn though she did have another part before that. Sean Indie Spout says to Pod Blast, her first film was King Kong. I'm not sure what you're looking for. Apparently that was her first film role. I could have sworn there was something beforehand, but did she do TV before that? Maybe that's it. I don't know. And Tug says, Lance, we're having a freezing tonight, but I think that'll be the end of it. Eleanor says, I have to keep an eye on the cats around the birds. And Pablo says, born and raised in South Bend. Elkhart. Elkhart is, yes, well, that's not far from South Bend. Wow, small world, small world. My best friend, his father used to work for Uniroyal. Well, a company that financed Gina Royal. It's complicated. But let's just see what we got here. Emily Miller says, Gary, I'm in Hickory, North Carolina, but now I'm living in a little pot town between Charlotte and Statesville. Headquarters says, Thresh, do you have a favorite Universal monster film? Uh, House of Dracula. And Lynn says, Mindy, I'm good on the move department. Oh, and Dominic D says, my sister lives in Dunham, North Carolina. Wow, small world. Everyone's from North Carolina tonight. And Mandy says, I discovered Thrash because I enjoy these topics. Oh, thank you. Lisa Field says, Greensboro. Okay. And Pablo says, oh, no, we are not done. Indy Spouts, what about the movie? Oh, what movie introduced Jane Seymour? Live and Let Die? I'm going to go with Live and Let Die. And Tug says mine is The Invisible Man. Okay, there's no wrong answer. And Tug also guessed Live and Let Die. Tug, you and I are on the same page tonight. And Shannon says, "Oh, Sinbad. Ooh, ooh." But come on, Live and Let Die really put her on the map. And Pablo says yes. Ding ding, winner winner, chicken dinner. And Denise Bout says, "I assume you mean Live and Let Die." Yes. Liz is almost 10 after. Okay, I'm just going to skim down. Performance Content says, I have to say Frankenstein introduced Jane Seymour. The made for TV film, that was actually after Live and Let Die. I own that one too. It's very good. Tracy says, South Bend is not far from Chicago, not far from Michigan too. In fact, I believe they call that strip Michiana. That's the one time I ever saw the Great Lakes. My friend and I and a few of his friends from South Bend drove up to Lake Michigan. And Tug says, Jane Seymour was my father's big celebrity crush after watching Somewhere in Time. I get it. Yes, I more than understand. I'm just going to skim down really fast here. Headquarters says, I loved Creature from the Black Lagoon. They are releasing a comic sequel after all these years. What do you think, by the way? What do you think of Shape of Water? Shape of Water was a bit. Del Toro was being sued by the people who made the play Let Me Hear You Whisper. Which, don't get me wrong, I get it. There are certainly a number of bases of comparison, but I see it more connected to Creature from the Black Lagoon. An extension, sequel, alternate universe version. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Indy says this is an example of changing the future. How about some trivia thrash? Yes, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. By the way, headquarters, hold that thought, by the way, because I'm going to have to ignore the comments for a while. It breaks my heart to do this, but if I don't start the trivia now, we're going to run out of time. Because remember, I have to close up shop early tonight because uh Dave's going on immediately after me, and I want all of you guys to go from me to he. Oh, and one last thing: 27 in the chat and only 17 likes. Come on, I deserve more than 10 likes for all the work I do on this trivia. Oh, and by the way, before I start getting the hemming and hawing about how tough these are, Mrs. Thrash took this, and I know she's very, 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 very smart. But Mrs. Thrash took this quiz and got 9 out of 10. And so I'm just going to go right in, as always, in no particular order. And remember, it's about lesser known appearances of celebrities who we have recently lost. And I know you guys are all going to get this one because I have mentioned this one no less than 18 times in the chat. Bert I. Gordon made this film featuring a relative of mine. Is it A, Empire of the Ants, B, Burned at the Stake, C, Food of the Gods, or D, Village of the Giants? I shall repeat. Bert I. Gordon made this film featuring a relative of mine. Is it A, Empire of the Ants, B, Burned at the Stake, C. Food of the Gods, or D. Village of the Giants. Okay, I'm gonna have to give you guys a hint. You want a hint? I'll give you a hint. Because apparently you don't pay attention for the last 18 times I've mentioned this. Okay, here is the hint. The hint is it is not based on an H.G. Wells short story. Dun, dun, dun. A lot of people saying Food of the Gods. Oop, oop, oop. I see the right answer. Ooh, you see? We have one of our new arrivals getting this one right. And Emily, I knew deep down, I knew you'd get this one. But the answers are kind of all over the place. Oh, Garrett Gabber says I haven't seen The Shape of Water. It's pretty good. It's interesting. It's Benicio. Am I saying Benicio del Toro? Oh, Guillermo. I, just, I love Benicio del Toro. He's a great actor, but he is not a Mexican filmmaker. Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro. I am a huge fan of his, and it's a great film. And oh, I kind of gave it away with a hint, didn't I? Oh, okay. Yes, it is Burned at the Stake from I want to say 1981. You guys remember the story? She played Sarah Good because she was working at the Living History Museum in Plymouth, so she could do the English accent and knew the costume and everything. But yes, Burned at the Stake is the correct answer to number 10. Moving on to number 9. Starsky and Hutch star David Soul had an early role in this epic vintage science fiction TV series. Was it A, The Invaders, B, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, C, Star Trek, or D, The Outer Limits? I shall repeat. Starsky and Hutch star David Soul had an early role in this epic vintage science fiction TV series. A, Invaders, B, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, C, Star Trek, or D, The Outer Limits. John Bernstein is here. Hey, John, so good to see you. Welcome to the party. And sorry, no. I don't mean to laugh. Form is content. Hey, Form is content. Glad you're able to join in with the trivia. John H is here as well. Sorry, John. No. Headquarters says I say Shape of Water was a tribute to Creature of the Black Lagoon and also something fresh with it. It also was inspired by the character Abe Sabine, the fish character from Hellboy. Yeah, I picked up on that too. Yes. Oh, and David is here. David, hello. Yes. Well, a lot of people coming in on question two. And John Burton says he was on Star Trek in the Garden of Eden episode. Yes, he was. So that is correct. It's also the correct name of the episode is The Apple. But yes, David Soul was in Star Trek in the episode The Apple. Moving on to question 8. David says, Thrash would grill a steak for me. I certainly would. Um, Question 8. Before her career defining role in Laverne and Shirley, Cindy Williams first paired with Ron Howard in this 70s maverick filmmaker nostalgia flick. Was it A, American Graffiti, B, The Last Picture Show, C, Sugarland Express, or D, Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean? Jimmy Dean. I shall repeat. Before her career defining role in Laverne and Shirley, Cindy Williams first paired with Ron Howard in this 70s maverick filmmaker nostalgia flick. A, American Graffiti, B, The Last Picture Show, C, The Sugarland Express, or D, Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean. And everybody say hello to Mrs. Thrash. She's here raiding the icebox. They all say hello. Well, they haven't yet, but I know them, and they're all going to start saying hello, Mrs. Thrash, any second now. Emma Miller says, "Is D an actual movie?" Yes, it is. It stars Cher and ooh, Other People, based on a stage play. I haven't seen that movie in God, I think I saw it when I was in college. But yes, D is an actual movie. Ah, here comes it. Everyone's saying hello, Mrs. Thrash. Oh, Dave says, Mrs. Thrash, you've got a lovely daughter. We do actually, and a granddaughter too. And everyone's saying, "Oh, thank you, Lisa, for saying hello." Oh my gosh, Forbes, yes, Karen Black is in it. She plays the. Well, I don't want to give away. You will find out who Karen Black plays in the movie. She's amazing in that movie too, and I completely forgot that that was her. Of course, every time I think Karen Black, all I can think of is Trilogy of Terror. Anyone who can do four parts in a trilogy is okay in my book. Oh, but it would help if I actually gave you the answer. A, American Graffiti, because there ain't no law of graffiti. Number seven, Lance Kerwin stars in this made-for-TV movie loosely based on the life of Michael Landon. A, Brian's Song. B, The Loneliest Runner. C, Bad Ronald. Or D, I Was a Teenage Adolescent. I shall repeat. Lance Kerwin stars in this made for TV movie loosely based on the life of Michael Landon. A, Brian's Song. B, The Loneliest Runner. C, Bad Ronald. Or D, I Was a Teenage Adolescent. And okay, everyone's saying D. I made that one up because he was in I Was a Teenage Frankenstein, and there was all those I was a teenage this and that. So I was a teenage adolescent is a joke. Answering ironically now, are we? And of course, Bad Ronald is not based on anyone's real life. Bad Ronald, that's the movie I told you about. My old college roommate was work. He wanted to turn that into a stage play. It's a really creepy. Long story short, this kid is a psychopath, and he kills someone, and his family trying to protect him make a false wall over his door so the police can't find him when they come looking for him, and he lives there for years with his mother feeding him through the cracks. Mother eventually dies, and the house goes up for sale, and the house is then bought by someone not realizing there is a psychopath boarded up in the wall. It's only very loosely based on the story of Michael Landon. And but anyway, the loneliest runner is in fact for those of you who said B, you got it correct. I'm sorry, my tangent had a tangent there. Moving on to number six, and then we'll get scores, such as they are. Before becoming associated with Xmas feel good nostalgia film Mom, Melinda Dillon did a nude scene in this sports comedy laugh riot. Was it A, Slapshot, B, Fast Break, C, Caddyshack, or D, The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training? I shall repeat. Before becoming associated with an Xmas feel good nostalgia film Mom, Melinda Dillon did a nude scene in this sports comedy laugh riot. A, Slapshot, B, Fast Break, C, Caddyshack, or D, The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training. Give you guys another second. No, Justin, she did not do a nude scene in the Christmas story. I would have remembered that. Yeah, Emily, not surprised. Andy Spout says, I'm on my game when I beat Sean Innes to a boob and film question. Sean says the Lou Gehrig story. Lou Gehrig died of Lou Gehrig's disease. Coincidence? I think not. Pablo says in bar trivia, we would be the equivalent of pool billiards hustlers, my flock. Gary Cooper says, Dominic, I met him, Jaws, in Charlotte Comic Con years ago. Nice guy, and his hands were really big. Oh, yes, I can certainly see that. Yes, big guy, very very nice person. From what I've heard. Oh, Daryl Johnson's here. He says, Bob. Daryl, my other brother, how you doing, man? And Mindy says, you are evil laughing. I tried. But anyway, yes, of course, the answer is Slapshot. My father took me to that when I was like 9 years old. And the only scene I remember of the whole movie was the lady showing well, yes. How about some scores? Sarah says giggle ponds. Zublix is 2 for 5. Respectable. Um Christopher says I got 3 right. That's 3 for 5. Tug is 4 for 5. What do you mean is 5 of 5, 5 of 5. Number one dude is goose egg. Oh, you'll do better in the second half. Shauna is 4 for 5. Justin is 2 for 5. Mandy is not way I got it. Not way I got it. Mandy is not way I got it. Lisa Fields got 5. Emily is 4 for 5. Not bad considering you had no idea what I was talking about for one of them. David is 3 of 5. Zubul says I don't remember the jock strap. You know, Zubul says you don't remember the jock strap. Um, I remember not off the top of my head. I do remember though, um, the three brothers from Canada and went by with a stick and got like all the guys in the box with it. They were actually very very funny. Zubik says you don't remember. Yeah, so John Burton says I can do the evil laugh because I'm evil. Yes, of course you are. Dominic D is 4 for 5. Gary Carpenter is 4 for 5. My Flux says chance, and I got same score. LOL. Excellent, excellent. Indy Spell says 4 for 4. Wasn't here for the first one. Well, you can always watch it in replay. I'm sure you would have gotten it. And Brendan says, oh, 5 for 4 because I'm not typing. And Teb is 5 for 5. Pablo says you have to do the evil laugh from Fright Night. You're so cool, Brewster. Um, I can't get evil's laugh. I can't laugh that high. You're so cool, Brewster. Yeah, I can try. I can do the and now welcome to Fright Night. For real. And that was kind of phoned in, but as best I can do on such short notice. Dave is give me $2. $2. I want $2. 5 for 5. You know, it's actually based on a true story. He owed the paperboy money. The paperboy like harassed him. Anyway, Tracy is 2 for 5. Mandy's like, so cool, Brewster. Dave says $2 in the fountain. $2 in the fountain. And it says, I love weird creatures in Miami. John says, I can do Muttley too. And I think if I've missed anybody's comments, please forgive me. But anyway, I'm going to have to pick up now. Uh, from number 5. Adding music video star to his list of credits, Richard Belzer played a Lenny Bruce style comic in this Pat Benatar vid. A. Invincible. B. Love is a Battlefield. C. Shadows of the Night. D. La Belle Age. Oh, and I'll give you a hint. It was a song written by Neil Giraldo. I shall repeat. Adding music video to this star's list of. I'll come again. Adding music video star to his list of credits, Richard Belzer played Lenny Bruce style comic in this Pat Benatar vid. A. Invincible. B. Love is a Battlefield. C. Shadows of the Night. Or D. La Belle Age. And I'm not going to repeat the hint again because that was a smart ass thing to say and do. My vlog says, I'm dying. LOL, so funny. Ponce, thank you. Giggle. Oh, wow. A lot of people are guessing Shadows of the Night, which is a great one, but it's wrong. Mike Silva's here. Oh my God, Mike. So glad you could make it. Mike says, put your feet give your dog's a treat. What a comfortable shoe. Where's Cheech and Chong's album? Wow, a lot of people are guessing C. I see someone has the right answer though. Dave says, "I love Rocky Road." I want to do a Weird Al song on "I Love Rock and Roll" and be like, "I love Rocky Road." So put it on the scoop on my Sunday, baby. Either that or we built this Sunday. We built this Sunday on Rocky Road. See what I did there? And Pablo says, remember when there would be a rogue 80s music video with a nudity in like China Girl by Bowie or Girls on Film by Duran Duran to an extent. Anyway, it's actually Labellage. It was done as the setting of Labellage was sort of like this old skeevy early 60s nightclub. And she was a nightclub singer. And Richard Belzer was again playing Lenny Bruce. One of the first times I remember seeing him, I was a fan of Lenny Bruce from when I was in high school, that whole First Amendment comedian kick. So it kind of stood out in my memory. Sorry I didn't stand up for you guys. Uh, Zuko says, which one was that one? You don't really expect me to sing Pat Benatar, do you? You look up La Belle Age on YouTube or Pat Benatar video with Richard Belzer. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't sing it. It's so far out of my range. Moving on to number 4, though. In addition to her breakthrough role in 1 Million BC, Raquel Welch made a big splash in this period piece film. A. Bonnie and Clyde. B. The Three Musketeers. C. Start the Revolution Without Me. D. Giggle. Little Women. I'm sorry. That's one of my favorite Benny Hill jokes. I became a 12-year-old boy all over again. I'm sorry. I'll try to read this again without giggling. Number 4. In addition to her breakthrough role in 1 Million BC, Raquel Welch made a big splash in this period piece film. A. Bonnie and Clyde. B. Three Musketeers. C. Start the Revolution Without Me. Or D. Little Women. Pablo says, sing Pat Benatar. He's daring me. This bloody road remains a mystery. Well, that's this sudden darkness in the air. That's the best I can do on such short notice. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I do see a lot of the right answer. Dave says, splish splash. I was taking a bath. I see the right answers pouring in. Pablo says Pat Benatar got out of the music biz, counted her money, and never looked back. Can you blame her? Shannon says Nostalgia Pub Blast. The last video I saw with nudity was. I am not reading that out loud, but I will take your word for it. And Justin says something about Bobby Darin. Bobby Darin had nudity in his music video. And Indy Spot says the Three Musketeers from 1973. You should have given the year. Oh yeah. Yes, I should have. Or at least said the. Yes, the one with. Well, you guys know the story about that one, right? Oh, come on! I must have told you this one a zillion times. Michael York starred, of course, in the 1973 Three Musketeers. At the time, my best friend was Tony, and his kid brother Michael, and we made up sort of a Three Musketeers because we used to watch the old Three Musketeers cartoon show in Banana Splits. So we called ourselves the Three Musketeers, and then the Three Musketeers movie with Michael York came out, and I was a big fan. Years later, I'm working at Suncoast Video, the movie store, and I go to a national convention, and this is right around the time Austin Powers 2 was come out, and they got Michael York there doing an autograph signing to promote the movie. And I've been a fan of his for like 30 years at this point. So Vern Troy is there signing autographs, and he's going to line out the door. But there's like a half a dozen people wanting to get Michael York's autograph, and I, of course, am one of them. And I'm like, oh, hee. And I have my little black and white 8x10 glossy from his sign, and I give it to him, and I go, hey, been a fan of yours since I saw you in Three Musketeers. And he went, was that so? And I went, okay, I'm gonna get Vern Troyer's autograph now. And Vern Troyer actually seemed nice, pleased to meet me. So they say never meet your heroes, but he wasn't a hero, but still. But yes, the 1973 Three Musketeers. She played Constance, Constance something or other. I don't know. Number three, Tommy Smothers found early work being featured in this early sketch comedy variety show. Was it A, Arthur Godfrey and Friends, B, Sid Caesar Show of Shows, C, The Steve Allen Show, or D, The Ernie Kovacs Show? I shall repeat. Tommy Smothers found early work being featured in this early sketch comedy variety show. Was it A, Arthur Godfrey and Friends, B, Sid Caesar Show of Shows, C, The Steve Allen Show, or D, The Ernie Kovacs Show? And wow, you guys are on game on this one. Alice's Restaurant Massacre, love it. Dave, that's great. Jonas says, sorry for the title, Thrash Bundle Pawns, but pretty factual all the same. Sorry for the bluntness. Oh, no, no, no. Dude, don't worry about it. I couldn't read that out loud with a straight face. But again, I take your word for it. I'm sure what you say is true. It was a music video with nudity. It sounds like it would feature nudity. But no, no offense taken. No need to apologize. And a lot of you guys got this one. It's C, Steve Allen. In fact, another anecdote here. In like the 70s, some show, what channel? My mom and I used to watch. We didn't have a lot of channels, but one of them we got was actually doing at like late night. They would show the Steve Allen show, old reruns, and there was one with Tommy Smothers. And of course, I recognized Tommy Smothers because I remembered him from his show, the Smother Brothers. And they were doing a spoof on Dr. Ben Casey. It was called Dr. Ben Dedicated. And he plays a kid they keep operating on. They go, we don't know what's wrong with him, so we just keep operating on him. And they ask him, how you doing, son? And he goes, well, I'm a little tired. When you have 16 operations, it takes a lot out of you. And I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard. I missed like the next 3 or 4 jokes. I was laughing so hard. It takes a lot out of you. That was just crazy. But anyway, number two. Number two is, which of these high concept 80s sci fi flicks did not feature Richard Mall? I know you guys hate these, but I'm going to throw this one in anyway. Which of these high concept 80s sci fi flicks did not feature Richard Mall? A, Fugitive from the Empire. B, Maelstrom, The Destruction of Jared Sin. C, Caveman. Or D, Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. And that's a mouthful, so I'm going to say this one more time. Which of these high concept 80s sci fi flicks did not feature Richard Benjamin? A, Archer, Fugitive from the Empire. B, Maelstrom, The Destruction of Jared Sin. C, Caveman. Or D, Space Hunter, the Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. He-Man Masters of the Universe. Ooh, the Ringo Starr movie. Yes, see. But you know what? Tug has made a very excellent argument that speculative period piece films, that is, say, ones that predate history, so it's complete and total speculation, he considers them more science fiction because you're using science to determine what these people's lives would be like as opposed to actually history. So yes, I consider Cavemen as high concept science fiction. You're not buying it, are you? Anyway, it made this list, and fortunately, one or two of you actually got it. It was not C. I'm sorry, that was not a red herring. So if you said C and you think it doesn't count, I'm gonna let you take a second guess. So I'm gonna take another minute for those of you who wanted to, if you wanted to exclude C, because he was on top of everything else, he was in it. In fact, if Danny was here, he would have told you, and I'm sure Sarah will tell you this. Um, he actually plays a Sasquatch type creature in it, which is what made me think of him in the first place. And he says he was definitely not in Space Hunter. You're right. Thank you. Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, which has a very, very young Molly Ringwald, it does not have um, Richard Mall. So no, he's not in that. And the number one question for this evening is: iconic entertainer Harry Belafonte starred in this film, which served as a precursor to Not a Living Dead. Yes, all you people are saying, "Oh my gosh, I should have watched Bob's precursor to Not a Living Dead spot." Yeah, you should have, because it's going to come in handy now. I'm just going to repeat the question because I threw a wrench in the works. Iconic entertainer Harry Belafonte starred in this film, which served as a precursor to Not a Living Dead. Was it A, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? B, The World, the Flesh, and the Devil? C, Day of the Triffids? Or D, The Omega Man? Justin says, White Christmas movie featured a classic TV movie comedian, a 50s silver screen bombshell, and an actress with both parents in the adult film industry. I did not know that. I did not know that. But I shall repeat one last time. Iconic entertainer Harry Belafonte started this film, which served as a precursor to Night of the Living Dead. Was it A, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? B, The World, the Flesh, and the Devil? C, Day of the Triffids? Or D, The Omega Man? And for all of you who get this one wrong, your punishment is you have to go into my content channel and watch my post on the top 10 films, which were in all probability precursors to Night of the Living Dead. Pinky promise. Crisscross, pinky promise, swear. Sean, Day of the Triffids. All kidding aside, I don't think there is a black person in Day of the Triffids. I really don't. But good guess. Kevin Scott 76. Kevin Scott 76 is here. So glad you could make it. Sadly, we're kind of wrapping things up, but I'm so glad you could make it for the last few minutes. Welcome to the party. Oh, Sarah, be a dear. Could you give Kevin Scott 76 a link? Thank you very much. John Britton says Day of the Triffids is the wrong decade. Well, it's in the 50s as opposed to the Night of the Living Dead, which came out in the 60s. But a lot of the tropes, a lot of the visuals in it were later borrowed for Night of the Living Dead. Westworld from 1973. Care Bear. Oh, that's cute. Gary Gabbard says, Sean, I haven't seen that one yet, but I do think they have it in my library. Sean says to Justin, something with Thora Birch in it. Anyway, I'm just going to let you guys off the hook. It's The World, the Flesh, and the Devil. Harry Belafonte was in that, and I make a convenient, a poignant, a valid case that it was a precursor to The Night of the Living Dead in said post. And Shannon says, I think misheard the question. Sean, it's cool. Half the fun of the trivia is when people aren't sure what I'm talking about. Half of my life is people being unsure what I'm talking about. So, and Gary Gabriel says, "Am a plant from space." It's funny you mentioned that. Actually, in the movie, there are space spores which come to Earth and create these killer plants. In the book, they're genetically engineered in the Soviet Union, as in an attempt for them to corner the market on biodiesel. Frankly, I like the movie version better. The idea that it's the comet's tail and it causes the flashing lights which blind everyone, and then the spores kick in and grow. So it's this great plan to take over a planet. First, you blind all your potential victims, and then come out of the ground and start eating them. It's brilliant, brilliant. At least I like it better. Oh, someone's already starting to give us scores. Okay, but anyway, yes, World of Flesh and the Devil's That was B. So yes, scores, please. What you mean is 9 for 10. Gerald John says, ain't those the things pigs dig up? Day of the truffles. Day of the truffles. Indy Spouts is 9 for 9. Thanks for the trivia, Bob. You are so welcome. Gary Carpenter is 7 for 10. Emily says Triffid is a plant. Yes, it's a carnivorous plant. It's a trifid. Get it? Um, Triffid is trifid. Tim says the world of flesh and the devil. Yes. And Ted, therefore, is 10 for 10. Daryl John says an evil plant. China says, I'm distracted tonight. Otherwise, Indy Spouts would not have beaten me regarding the slapshot question. LOL. Quite all right. Quite all right. I'm glad you're here, distracted or not. It's always nice to have you. Sean. Dave says, Space, the final frontier. Gary Gerber says, an alien plant. Yes. Number one dude got one. Uno. 1 for 1. One for Mr. Number One. Sean Innes is 7 for 10. David got 4. Emily Miller says, sounds like a Timu version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Well, yeah, but the plants aren't intelligent. They're just regular plants, but they can move. And they're carnivorous. You see, some plants get nourishment from photosynthesis. That's a one fed. Some get food from their roots. That's two fed. And some, like Venus flytraps, also get food through predation. That's the three or the tri fed. These carnivorous plants are tri feds. Lisa Fields got 7 for 10. Excellent. Justin says 50% better than usual. Excellent. Christopher says 4 to 10. Your questions are harder than Dave's. I apologize. I'm very sorry, Christopher, but I'm glad you got 4. John says I answered one correctly on accident. Oh, take it. It is. I mean, Emily is 5 for 10. I think we'll give it to you. Daryl Jones says an evil alien plant. Yes. And I would say so. Dominic D is 8 for 10. John Burnson says Dave's not here, man. Dave's not here. Hey, it's Dave. Dave's not here. David says I see dead people. LOL. Mike Silva says John Tesh. I know you're in here. Yanni, you're home. Zubik says a lame version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Mike Silva says, oh, you're smart enough. He certainly is. And Justin says, I don't know, Kenneth. I'm always 0 on his Andy Griffith questions. Yeah, some of his are in fact tough. Pablo says, touchdown Bills. You know, I lost money. This is a true story. I lost money on the Bills 4 Super Bowls in a row. 4. That is statistically impossible. I wouldn't bet on the Bills again if the Chiefs didn't show up. I'm sorry, I am not betting on the Super Bowl. And so endeth the lesson. Mike Silva says, I'm watching The Twilight Zone on Pluto TV, just not paying attention to this pawn. Sorry, Mike, it's okay. You're here. You're here, and that's nice. If you don't play the trivia, that's okay. You're here in spirit. You're here physically. You're physically in spirit. Mike, your presence is always welcome, regardless of whether or not you take part in the trivia. And thank you for being here. Kudos. Tab says, which Forgotten early Fox show do you prefer better? Tracy Ullman show, duet, New Adventures of Beans Baxter, Second Chance, retooled as Boys Will Be Boys, Werewolf, or Women in Prison. I vaguely remember Women in Prison. Wasn't a huge fan. Didn't watch Werewolf. Don't remember Second Chance. My kid brother, David, Beans Baxter was his favorite show. I used to watch it with him from time to time. It was pretty cool. Tracy Ullman would have to be my favorite, particularly because I loved The Simpsons. Duet was great. I had a crush on the younger sister, and that covers it. Pablo says extra point is good. Bills up 4 over KC. A lot of people say that. Well, Mike said the Tracy Ullman show. Gary Cameron says Body Snatchers long ago. Won't see it again. Podblast said Bills played a Super Bowl here in Atlanta twice in the 90s, and they lost both times. John Burns says only division to send every team to the Super Bowl. Excellent. Oh, and both people want to know which version, Gary. My favorite version of Body Snatchers is the 1978 one. But of course, you guys already knew that. Shun and assist to Publis. Yeah, I just stood up hearing the crowd roar from the TV. Really nice catch. Oh, Dave says the toilet bowl. And Pablo says, I like the 1978 version of Body Snatchers best. Likewise, I'm sure. So, anywho, I'm just getting done. Folks, again, I'm gonna have to call this one early. Again, Dave goes on at 9. That's about in 10 minutes away. And I want to make sure all you guys, please do me a favor. Everyone, go on to Dave's show tonight and please tell him that old Bob said hi. I'm not gonna be able to make it. I have a wicked early morning tomorrow. But tell Dave, I'm sorry I couldn't make it tonight. I will be there in spirit, and I'm sure I'll watch it in replay. And I want to thank you guys tonight. I had fun tonight, and I'm gonna keep trying to make the trivia game uh less tough. But anyway, you guys take it like troopers, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, I had so much fun tonight. To you new folks who are quasi regulars, welcome to the game. To you old folks who've been putting up with me for weeks and weeks and weeks for a couple years now, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You guys mean the world to me. So I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. Be good, be safe, be careful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. And Teb, I promise next week, early 90s Fox trivia. And until then, peace. Night.